So Chelsea recently lost 4-0 to Manchester United, and they had a good performance, but performance is secondary in football. The primary objective is to win the game, regardless of the performance. That performance reminded me of Arsene Wenger's last days at Arsenal. They had good performances in matches, but they lost many, which ultimately led to his dismissal. So the main thing that we could learn from the game is that it showed how Lampard wants his team to play with intensity, try to dominate the match, and press high. So the game also showed that it will be an unpredictable season for Chelsea because the team is deficient in certain areas, and even the formation itself that Lampard is going to use is debatable. And the most especially is forward line. Perhaps this is because of the gap left by Hazard. And Lampard needs to instill clinicality in his team because even with a good performance, the team was unable to, put the ball at the back of the net from the chances that they created. They created many chances, and that is what is encouraging about the performance. So the conversion rate needs to be improved because it's wanting. And considering how Chelsea will be playing, it will need the team to have a high conversion rate because I expect them to score many goals and also concede many goals. So the only way out for them is to score as many goals as possible. If they can do that, then they'll be safe. And my assessment is that Chelsea will have to be clinical. That is, for instance, for every 5 chances that they create, 3 should be converted, which is a very tough call because in football, a lot of chances are the ones that are wasted, and the only team that has that high clinicality level is Manchester City. So I think Lampard has a lot to work on in that area. So that's generally speaking. Tactically speaking, I think it was surprising for me to have Mount and Barkley start together. Maybe the reason was because Mount can drift across the forward line, unlike Barkley. Barkley likes to attack the central channels. And however, I think in the first half this didn't fare well because Barkley wasn't able to express himself fully in the game, and this led to his substitution later on in the second half. And then secondly, the fullbacks at Chelsea are expected to play high up the pitch. You saw Emerson is the one who took the most shots on target. He was playing very high up the pitch, and maybe the reason is to provide width, and also now they are expected to take more chances and convert. And this leaves space behind for the opposition to counter, because Chelsea also uses a very high press, and you'll find most of the times Manchester United had the audacity, especially in the second half. Maybe, for instance, the goal by Pogba, to take the ball, drive the ball from their own half all the way up to Chelsea's penalty area or box area, which led to the goal by David James. So it seems there is a gap there that needs to be addressed. And considering this style, I think Aspilicueta will need the help from Rick James, because I don't expect that he can play this type of football for an entire season, and because the system that Lampard seems to want to impose is going to demand a lot of running up and down and taking moments from the back line to the forward line, so that he can participate in the chance creation and provide width for the team. So the other thing that was encouraging was that Pulisic might be the savior for Chelsea, owing to his dribbling, ball carrying, and goal scoring ability. And to bring balance to the team, I think Kante will have to partner Jorginho, and Rudiger will have to partner Christensen, because both of them can play the ball better than Zuma. And I think on a game-by-game basis, there are games that Zuma should start because of his aerial ability. And I also think that Willian will have to play ahead of Pedro. to ensure defensive and offensive balance. And then there are also moments where you find Pedro, especially when Chelsea are playing from the back. Pedro is more of a guy who likes to move with the ball, and most of the time he'll lose it as he tries to carry it from his own half and dribble past players, which is very, very risky. And I think Willian is a safer option. I also think that Lampard will also have to reconsider the number 10 role, Barkley and Mount, because Willian, Pedro, Pulisic, they are wingers who have the ability to cut inside, and if they cut inside, they are going to occupy the space occupied by the number 10. So I think that is something Lampard will have to rethink, and maybe during the season you're going to see him revert to a 4-3-3 formation as the guys get fit, Loftus-Cheek gets back and maybe impresses in training. And as for the striker, I think a game-by-game basis will be the most prudent option, so that you can see that Tammy Abraham, there is Giroud, those two guys, they're different types of strikers, but on a game-by-game basis, one can start ahead of the other. And then finally, Lampard and the team will have to be smart and train on when to press, when to play high up the pitch, because if you take the game that they played against Manchester United, I think it was a bit naive from the manager. Maybe he's learning and it's his first season in the Premier League, but it was a bit naive from him to go all out attack, and it exposed his team, especially in the second half. In as much as the first half was very, very, very good, the second half was a bit naive from him. So I think it's a learning curve, and it will be a very unpredictable season for Chelsea, but I expect them to do well against smaller or weaker opposition. The problem is against strong opposition like Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham. Now the manager has to be tactically smart, even if he'll stick to his principles. So that's my take on the Chelsea game against Manchester United, and then the Chelsea game and style going forward. Thank you.